All right, so we are recording our next lesson, and today's subject is rosemary. Rosemary essential oils. We've talked about basil, we've talked about lavender, talked about oil combinations such as On Guard, Adaptive, and other oils. And today's subject is rosemary. I just want to show you the bottle. That's how it looks like. And we're using doTerra essential oils because we believe they're really good. They're best on the market. Another brand, I don't know, it just mirrors everything here. Another brand which is good is Young Living, but I've done extensive research on this, and I've found that I prefer doTerra no matter what. It's just, I think they better quality. I'm using them all the time. A lot of oils, various types. I was showing it last time when we had a lesson. Some of them are good for immune system support. Actually, all of them good for immune system support. But other ones are good for calming anxiety and increasing focus and improving memory, reducing fatigue and things like that. And the way I'm using essential oils, and everyone who's using essential oils, they know about this. I'm using diffusers. I've got diffusers in every room of my house. And when I feel like doing certain things, like if I need to relax, I would add lavender or adaptive oil combination. Or if I need to, let's say if I have a light cold symptoms, which I don't personally have for many years, but my kids still catch sometimes from time to time, I use On Guard essential oil combination, which is really, really good for um, improving your immune system, fighting all these bacteria and viruses, and making you basically bulletproof for any respiratory diseases that go around. Okay. Um, I personally, I have to knock on the wood. Uh, uh, for many years, I have not been experiencing any of those symptoms. Okay. So that's why I think it is essential right now during pandemic time when we're still staying home. We should believe that there are things in the world, goodness in the world, that can help us out to make us bulletproof or minimize the symptoms of respiratory diseases by using essential oils. And all of them, they're like little angels. That's how I call them, my little angels. Sometimes I even, you would not believe, guys, how much I love them. Sometimes I just treat them as human beings or as angels. I just come to them and I can literally kiss every bottle. Like I hold it in my hands and I feel these high vibrations. They have amazing vibrations, those oils. And people who feel energy, they definitely feel the vibrations of oils. And the more you work with them, the more you feel them, the more you put on yourself, the more you feel them. So for me, they're my little babies, my little angels who I worship, love, and adore. So why rosemary today? Let me just put up description so we could talk about this. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. And I'm going to share my screen. Share screen.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
It's okay, Ina, if you can, who's that talking? Please, guys, mute yourself. We are in the middle of the class. So we're talking about rosemary today, and I'm sharing my screen. Look at the description, knowledge and transition, and that's exactly what we need during this time. Knowledge and transition. First of all, we need to get ourselves educated about everything that goes on in the world, and not only in the mass media. There are a lot of places where you can find information about how to protect yourself and what you need to do in order to stay healthy and mentally calm. Because whatever goes on in the world creates a lot of anxiety. People feel uncertain. People feel like the whole world is collapsing in front of them, and it's causing a lot of mental disbalance, either anxiety or depression or any other negative kind of emotions or negative states of mind that actually lower our immune system. They lower our immune system. And you know what happens when the immune system gets compromised? The viruses and bacteria love it. For them, it's a prey. So it's our job to stay in a balanced state of mind. All essential oils are great help in this. Self-educate and continue working on raising your vibrations. That's the only way to survive in this condition right now. Okay. Um, and the rosemary is exactly what it is all about: knowledge and transition. So it assists in development of true knowledge and true intellect. Okay, which is fantastic. That's what we want. It teaches that one can be instructed from a far greater space of understanding than the human mind. Think about it. There are forces outside of human perception, like angelic forces, high vibrational forces, um, that help us out to get empowered by knowledge. Basically, that's what it's all about. And for us, it's very important to preserve our souls at these times. But for this, we need to really increase our knowledge and do our own research, not to rely on mass media or whatever. Most of people telling us, our relatives, we may have disagreements, even within households, on how things should be handled during this time. Rosemary assists individuals who struggle with learning difficulties. It brings expansion to the mind, supporting individuals and receiving new information and new experiences. Exactly in lines of what I just said. Rosemary aids in time of transition and change. When a person is having difficult time adjusting to a new house, school, or relationship, this oil can assist. Or to this current pandemic condition, right? When this was written, there was no pandemic condition at this time. But what it teaches us, that's what it's all about. This oil is helping us to deal with this. It fights confusion, fights difficulties in adjusting to new conditions, opens up perceptions, and also increases memory. Here, and why? Because it provides mental clarity. When we have a better clarity, our memory span increases. And that's exactly why I'm using it. I'm using it for improving my memory during this time. Because we have information overflow right now coming from different sources. It's hard to focus sometimes. Rosemary helps to do that. I'm going to show you something else. Little trick for ladies. Let me stop sharing. Right here. All right, so I just stopped sharing. Let me show you a cream that I'm constantly using. It's a hydrating cream. Also, I purchased through doTerra. They have a whole line of creams, and it's just, you cannot see very clear, but what I'm using it together with rosemary. What rosemary does, it removes the puffiness from your skin. So what I usually do, I take a little scoop with my finger, I put 1 drop of essential oil of rosemary, and then I mix them with my fingers and I put all over my face and my neck. Okay, guys, I'm 53. I don't have any wrinkles. I look very youthful. I hope you agree with that, because I constantly use essential oils together with my creams. And all my creams are coming from doTerra. All right. And that's why I recommend it so much. It's not only for balancing emotions, not only for staying healthy and happy, it's also for improving our skin condition and overall health. Although we cannot say that, we only can say that the side effects of the oils may improve your physical condition, right? Because of the FDA rules that they put on us, we cannot say that essential oils may treat any diseases, and that's not what we're saying. We're saying that by using essential oils, you boost your immune system, you help your skin to flourish, you stay healthier, and you become bulletproof for respiratory illnesses that is always in place, even regular flu, right? That we're so used to, it helps us to be a bulletproof for that. All right, so what I want to focus today right now with the art component, I want to focus on our memory. You see, we all have a tendency to forget about goodness that we have in our lives, specifically our achievements. We may achieve a lot of things in life, and then if you fail once, all of a sudden, for some reason, we start beating ourselves up, saying, I'm stupid, I'm not worthy, why I never use my head. What does it do to you? It brings you down. It brings you down. And what happens when it brings you down? You may get sick. Okay. And we really don't want you to get sick. That's why we're promoting essential oils. And if you're interested in them, you should come to people who invited you to this meeting in order to get more information. But we also want you to use the artistic component to help you out to stay totally balanced, happy. Okay, I'm happy most of the time. I may have my blues, but I know how to handle them. I handle them with oils and I handle them with my art. So for that, I just want to transfer to my drawing board. Okay, let me just move a little bit so we have a good view. I'm using a large format today because we're going to continue whatever we started last week when we covered basil essential oil. And a lot of people had questions about the technique itself, how to do Neurographica, and my style of creating neurographic pattern. So that's why I think that having a large format of paper is going to be very helpful to us to provide visibility to the method. Okay. And again, I said that rosemary, I'm using it for memory as well, although it doesn't say in description. I just noticed when I started using rosemary, my memory improved tremendously. And I know there is a short-term memory and the long-term memory. Today, I want to work on the long-term just to recognize all our achievements that we have accomplished in order for us to stop thinking about ourselves as powerless creatures. We just need to remember that we are the souls who are having human bodily experience, not the other way around. We are not humans who having souls that help us to experience life. No, it is other way around. It is other way around. And the higher we vibrate as souls, the better we go through life. The younger we stay, our vitality increases, our lifespan increases, and the health state gets tremendously improved. So, and for that, I'd like you guys just to try together with me. For this, you need multimedia paper, and that's what I have, like a thick paper. If you don't want to use large format, you can use small format like this. I'm just showing you the work that we've done. Okay, you can use small format, but the work that is done on the larger format always looks better. Okay, let me see if I can find. That's what we did last time when we worked on basil. Look how pretty it is. It's beautiful, vibrating, like catching the vibration of oil basically is here, the essence, right? And all the oils are charged with sun. That's why we have so much gold here. And we're going to be adding gold here as well. So what I've noticed, I'm in the mirror mode. I need to change that. Let me just go back to settings and change the, you'll see what I mean. You see, change the mirror right here. Yep, now we're good. Are we? Hold on. Let me try again. Um, hmm. Just sitting. For some reason, it doesn't let me do that. All right, let it be like this. It's okay. So we can even work in the mirror mode. That's fine. Um, so prepare your paper, prepare your markers, prepare your color pencils. And first of all, what we need to do, I'd like you to find like a piece of paper, any, it doesn't have to be mixed media. And let's just quickly, in 2 minutes, list everything that you remember throughout your life, what you've done with the great success. It could be your marriage. It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be something simple as your marriage, bringing kids to this world, educating them, great job that you found and landed on. So just think about things that you've really achieved throughout your entire lifespan, uh, from your childhood up to this point. All right. So I'm going to watch the clock. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I'm working in the mirror mode. I can't change it for some reason right now. So you're going to see everything in mirror for me, but I'm going to be speaking out loud. But I'm giving you the practice, and it's up to you guys how you're going to be using it, how you're going to be practicing. I always suggest applying the oil that we're working with on yourself, because that would give you a nice sensation while you're drawing. That would be just a nice way of doing it. And then just have like a simple paper where you can write things down. Not always you need to do this, but today we're doing it. And just quickly, let's start. I'm going to tell you, let's start and let's write down everything that we can remember. I'm going to be speaking of myself. So I was an excellent student in school, straight A. I've got 3 educations, formal, and I've got a bunch of informal. You guys see everything in the mirror mode, but it's fine. Um, now, I had 2 successful marriages. They both were successful. The first one to the point, but now I have a pretty successful marriage. All right, I'm going to do 1 successful marriage. It's fine. To be completely honest. Now, my alternative education, meaning yoga, qigong, imagery work. I'm watching. So we have another minute to go. Kids, I consider myself bringing up to this world beautiful child, and then I've got more kids. Got my stepdaughter. I have a girlfriend of my son who's living with us. Community. I build community, female community, and also I'm building community now in upstate New York. Neurographica. Okay, we are about to stop. All right, so I've got 8. If you have 10, that's perfect. Usually, my teacher, the way he's doing, like he's writing very, very fast. You should have like 15, 20, and then you select the most important ones. But for the beginning, it's fine if you have 8, 10, that would be good enough to work from. You may remember certain things while you're going to be drawing, and it's totally fine to add them during the drawing. Let's just do that and let's practice. And I'm going to be showing some techniques also, the ones that we started kind of going through at our last lesson, but I'm going to continue doing it now. giving you partially knowledge, so you're not going to get overwhelmed with this. You can pick any marker that you like, any color. Just don't do very light colors. Don't do like light pink. Don't do like yellow. It has to be visible on the paper. Like dark blue, dark green, dark red are totally fine. Dark orange, violet. Yeah, I'm going to be using violet color. So, all right, here's what we're going to be doing. We're not going to be doing anything complex. These lessons are for easy drawing, so you're not going to get overwhelmed. Also, to get you interested in Neurographica, apparently, in my invite to the meeting, to this Zoom class, I've listed all the resources where you can find me, my YouTube channel, my website. Everything is in this invite. So you can always find my YouTube, and I'm uploading all my lessons there. It's Amarna Neuroart. Let me write it for you so you know where to find my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type it. By the way, we have chat. You can start asking questions there, and we're going to have a Q&A at the end of the class. All right. So let's say I remember things that I've done, but I may not remember everything that I've done in life, right? The first things that came to my mind during this 2 minutes, I've documented them. But what I really would like to do, I would like to add as many as I can. So when you're going to be rewatching this video and recording, you may find other things that you totally skipped. Maybe you helped a friend in the hard time. When people were coming, your relatives coming to you, they were in hardship and they ask you for help, maybe staying in your house. Any good things you ever done, even the smallest ones count. That's why right now it's just mostly to learn the algorithm. And once you learn it, you can definitely repeat it at any time. All right, I'm gonna start with drawing a circle. And for you guys, for anybody who just came for the first time to my class, please watch lessons 1 and lesson 2, where I'm talking about basics of Neurographica. Today we have a 5th class, I believe, in series. But I constantly remember that we really need to focus on the shape. So your circle should look very similar to the actual circle. It will never be 100% perfect, because we're not using compass, we're just doing it by hand, but it should look like a circle, okay? And I'm gonna put my name here, Margarita. And you see everything in the mirror. I don't know what happened, guys. For some reason, it doesn't let me change. Sometimes Zoom acts weird. Let me try again. No, it doesn't let me do this, unfortunately. It's okay. All right, no problem. So you should write your name on top of the circle, so you know you are drawing something that belongs to you. And then we're going to start around the circle. We're going to start drawing figures that actually were listed here on the paper. Okay, that's what we want to do. And you can use in Neurographica 3 shapes. You can use circle, you can use triangle, and you can use square. Only these 3. For people who took advanced classes with me, who took spiral classes, and I have some students here who did, you guys can use spirals as well, because you already know how to use them. And I've got a whole class, 3 hours class on spirals in Neurographica. So please, if you haven't taken this class, don't use the spirals, because you're not going to know what to do and how to draw them in the right way. Okay, I've seen like terrible things. Then people start using them and then they come back to me and they get so much confused much worse, right? When they started, I'm like, please, please don't. Unless you take my class, then you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I drew myself as a circle. So I said, I'm an excellent student. Look at your list of things that you document. And as a student, as an excellent student, I just want to draw another circle right here. Okay, let me just make it more visible for you. And the camera distorting the color, so you know. It's okay. It doesn't matter what you are picking, what color. It has to be visible. That's what is most important. So, and I'm going to say excellent students here. Excellent student. So I remember, okay, what it was. Now I said I have 3 educations. I believe my 3 educations are my support. This is what keeps me strong. That this is what helping me to achieve things in life. It also disciplines me around things. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of research concerning coronavirus and other things, and I'm finding things that other people don't see and don't know where to find. So I believe because I've done so much research during my process of being educated in several different unrelated fields, really discipline me to the point where I'm able to do that and share with other people as well. So we know that in Neurographica, when we're drawing square or triangle, we really need to do rounding inside of the angles, right? And just for ones who just joined, the rounding, let me just, the rounding is something when we have an angle, right? Where 2 lines are crossing here, or if it's just a figure like this, triangle or square, it applies to both cases, just like that. We are using a technique that we call rounding. What we're doing, we're adding half circles inside of each crossing, just like that. You see that? And that combines these 2 lines together. It's not a square. It's not a square here. We're using partial circles on each side in order to create neurographic pattern. Same thing happens when we're using triangles or square. We need to provide this rounding inside of these figures. Look at that. You have to round them so they're not poking you, basically, with this angular shape. It's much smoother like this. Also, we know that we never let the angles just hang around. They need to be connected to either the edge of your paper or to another line, just like that. And all surrounded, just like that. Here, I have connected it to the end. I've connected this end as well, and I've rounded as well. That's how it works. We don't allow those angles just to hang because they're creating loopholes in our pattern. Our pattern, like, is anybody knitting? If you guys like knitting, you know, if when you're losing your loops, your final product is not going to look pretty. You need to fix it. That's exactly the same concept here. Same for the Lego concept. If you have components, think about Lego. Here, it's a good way of thinking of it. Let me just show you. Here, you could see everything is rounded. Nothing is just hanging loose. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Everything is connected through this rounding practice where we're connecting all the hanging corners, and we're also connecting lines with objects through the rounding technique. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm rounding. And here I'm going to say education. Okay, and we continue with that. The circle is a holistic figure. Anything can fit into circle, triangles and squares. We're using squares when we need to emphasize a support, something fundamental. Your bank account would be your square. because this is something that would provide you security and provide you life support, basically, when you need money. So for me, my education is my foundation, okay? Now, successful marriage, I would also identify as a circle. For you guys, you really need to listen to your intuition. For beginners, it's very hard to listen to intuition because you don't know yet anything about Neurographica, the new people who came to my class today. It's fine, step by step, patience. A lot of intuition is used in Neurographica. Once you learn about components and once you learn about the practice itself, then you are able to develop your own neurographic style, as we call it. And I'm providing educational programs online with study at your own pace methodology. I'm providing level 1, education level 1, where you are working on balancing your emotions and bringing you to the resilient state of mind. And then I'm providing level 2 for people who would like to incorporate Neurographica into their coaching practice. Let's say if you're a coach, a life coach, transformational coach, health coach, Neurographica is the great asset to add to whatever you are teaching. So find me if you're interested in any of these formal educations. I would be gladly providing you information that you need in order to join those programs. All right, going forward. So what I said here is successful marriage. Okay, that's fine. Now, alternative education. I would say for me, it is a constant transformation. I never end my education, okay? Never. What is alternative? Yoga, Qigong. My neurographic education is alternative, right? Although it's formal, I do have my certification, but it's not being taught in regular schools or colleges. So Tai Chi, right? All of that. So guys, you seeing everything in the mirror, I'm gonna be taking picture of this, of the final product, just to show you how it looks like. But the way I see it, it's in the flip mode. I don't know, for some reason right now, Zoom doesn't allow me to do that. But I'm focusing on your attention right now to how we're laying things out in Neurographica. And your layout should not be similar to mine. You can do whatever you want with those Lego components in order to create your art. They can be placed anywhere. And again, when you develop your intuition with Neurographica, you will know what to use. A triangle. Triangle is the movement. Triangle is a verb. Travel, research, to travel, to research, to exercise, right? To sing. Everything that is related to the movement or verb is a triangle. Triangles sometimes can be used in a negative way. They can emphasize frustration, aggression. So you have to be really careful with triangles. They really need to play positive role in your transformational process, not to kick you out from that. So I've just added that, and that would be my alternative education. Now, kids. Oh boy, right now, I've got 3 of them. I started with 1, and then in my adulthood, 2 more kids added up. And do I enjoy it? Yes. Yes. Are they troublemakers? Yes. But I still love them, right? Because even I only have 1 son who was born by me, but everybody else joined, and now I have 2 girls who I love and adore. And I think it's a blessing. So kids, I'm going to just use 1 object, and it's going to be a circle again. You see, guys, I've done it on purpose just to show you how you can correct a circle. Like you've started, but you see like it just went over. Look how you can correct it. As I said, we're going to be going through technique today. It's okay, let it hang for now, right? I've corrected it. I created perfect circle. Perfect in the sense of neurographic. It will never be perfect in reality. Again, because we're not using compass. Let it hang like this. I will show you how you can deal with this later. So you're going to round again. Everything has to be rounded. Everything. And the rounding is helping to connect all the figures on your paper. Now, community. Community is huge for me. I think it's also square. I'd like to add it here. Community is something that keeps me going. It is my inspiration. Again, you see the figure is not really straight. It looks a little bit distorted. You can always correct it by adding more lines. It's okay if it's thicker on one end. It's totally fine. You see where you can correct it just like that. Straighten up all the sides just like that. And it's totally fine. It's totally okay. And then round the corners inside. Just like that. See, it's not touching anything. I don't have to round with any other figures. It's a community. Stand alone. And my lovely Neurographica. I love Neurographica. I love and adore Neurographica. So I would draw a spiral, but just because it's a beginner's class, I'm not going to be doing it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just draw a circle. Again, make it as round as possible. And round all the figures that it's crossing. All right, so now what we're going to do next, we need to combine all these resources. Yes, they're rounded, but they're not vibrating enough. They're not connected with the outside world. And we consider our paper as the outside world, the world that we live in, not only our house, not only within our family, within the whole world. That's where we are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be using neurographic lines, which I'm teaching in lesson 1. You can find it on my YouTube channel, Amarna Neuroart, for anybody who would be interested. But I'm just going to repeat that neurographic line is the line that doesn't create any patterns. It flows like a river. It flows like a crown of the tree. It's just flowing with control to the left and the right. Your focused attention is set on the tip of the marker, and you don't know where you're going to end. You never know. Wherever you're going to arrive, that's where you're going to end. You see that? Versus to something like that, where you have a definite pattern. Here you don't. And you need to constantly watch that you're not creating any patterns. That's why you have to do it patiently with control. Don't create any spikes. It has to flow with the smooth curves. It has to just flow just like that. No patterns. You see that? Look, if you remember, we had this hanging part of the circle right here. Remember when we did it in a way that we needed to correct our circle? I've corrected it with my line. That's it. We don't even know that it was there. Visually, it disappeared. It's all corrected with the line. And we're going to continue adding lines, connecting all the parts. Here, what you need to really pay attention to, are you breathing? Are you relaxed enough? Yes, your hand needs to go with control. You're not just letting it go just like this. Some people draw lines just like that. That's what I see in a lot of people. No, no, no. This is not neurographic line. Just like that. No, it's not. What makes neurographic line neurographic? When you really draw with control, slowly, really paying attention that you're not creating any patterns. With control, you draw your line that flows like a river. You don't know where you're going to end. You never know. It can bring you here, it can bring you down there, right? Right now, we're only doing very basic technique. I'm not overwhelming you with anything else. Very, very basic. But look, it can be done this way too, down flow, not only diagonally upward, down, or like that. And we always connect lines with the breath. Just take a breath and let it go. Like do exhale, let it go. Do inhale, let it go, and breathe normal. Don't hold your breath. Never. Otherwise, you're going to get tense. Your shoulder's going to get tense. And if you feel a tension, what I suggest, just get up and move around, really relax a little bit, drink a tea or water, keep water next to you. So you feel totally in control of your body. Because when we draw Neurographica, we're really working on 3 levels: physical level, emotional level, and your mental level. That's what happens. So you really need to be in control. And now we need to start rounding. Everything has to be rounded, and that's where people get hysterical. They are telling me, oh my, are you telling me that I have to go and round everything? Everything what and you know what happens at the end? People are saying, you know what, next time I have to draw less lines. So I have less rounding. I have bad news for people who think this way. The quality of neurographic work is defined by the quantity of the lines. I'm going to say it again. The quality of neurographic work is defined by the quantity of the lines. The more lines you draw, the more roundings you need to make, the better result you're going to get. You really need to get patient, extremely, because people want immediate results. Some people come to me, they try a couple of drawings, then they come back to me and they say, nothing happens. We live in a world where miracles happen, but only to few people. Sometimes I see people who come to me and they're getting immediate results. But for the most part, it requires work to be done, some repetitive practice, patience, patience, and attention to this practice. When somebody gets sick, you don't expect somebody to get fine immediately just by taking one pill, right? Same thing is here. Why would you think that this practice should fix all your life problems just taking one class? After taking one class, it's not going to happen. It may fix some of the problems from one class. I've seen it. I've seen it on myself. When I started taking Neurographica classes, immediately I felt a positive energy shift immediately. But not everyone feels this way. For some people, they go through painful process of transformation. But we know the transformation cannot happen in the zone of comfort. You really need to get out from your comfort zone to experience transformation. Why? Because you're doing something totally different you've never done in your life. You haven't done Neurographica ever. I have my students here who took multiple classes with me, but some people just came, and for them, it's totally new. They don't know. It's the first time they see it. It's the first time they try it, and it puzzles them what it's all about. Going through the formal education in Neurographica really helps out to gain full understanding of what goes on. And we're also running together with my business partner, Maria Volkova. We are running Rewired for Abundance program. It's a super advanced program in Feng Shui and Neurographica. Totally dedicated to the financial abundance and how to gain it, doing what you love to do in life. So, but usually we start with simple practice of patience, dedication, really trying to create beautiful work of art, you know, and with rounding techniques specifically, you have to watch that you're not creating something like that, right? if you have a rounding, some people just go quickly and they do something. This is not rounding. You're really creating a lot of problems if that's how you round, right? You really need to do rounding like this, very smooth. And if for any reasons, let's say you have two lines, right? And accidentally, you know, it just happened that you do like this, like your rounding doesn't look nice. What are you going to do with this? You can always make the line thicker to correct it. You see this? Because you don't want to leave all this, how to say this, unattended angles created by bad rounding hanging around. You can always make the line thicker at that point where it happened and then continue with the normal. Then it's going to look very nice, very nice. So here we continue the process of rounding. Everywhere. I go fast because I already know what I'm doing. For new guys who just joined and doing for the first time, you guys take your time. You can always finish by watching my video and recording on my YouTube channel, Amarna Neuroart. Come visit. I do have classes there for free that you can watch, get yourself more familiar, and then come and study with me. You're going to get a lot of benefits from that. Okay, so we continue doing this. And for once who I promised to show how I'm doing my technique, what I'm doing in a lot of cases, right? Specifically when I don't have a lot of space between objects, I just draw a circle, just like that. I draw a circle and I may draw another little circle, just like that, instead of doing rounding. Let me show you again. I just drew a circle inside of this and I'm coloring. Let me do again, just to show you, like this, for example, right? I'm going to draw a circle and I'm going to draw another circle. That's it. It takes care of rounding. Okay. This is a technique that I'm using a lot. You guys probably see me doing it all the time. It's the easier and faster way. Like here, for example, I drew a circle and then I color. And here I can do multiple circles. Your work is going to look beautiful like that. Look, right there. I just drew multiple circles and the rounding is taken care by itself. Okay. Let me just do this, continue. You know, the more rounding you do, you don't have to do 100%, but people who study Neurographica with me, they're all reporting that rounding is so essential for them that when they find something that is not rounded, it bothers them. Same is the same thing. For me, I notice that if I don't have enough rounding, then my work doesn't look as good as I would like it to look. So we've done the bit rounding. Now we're going to start coloring. You should use color pencils for this. You may choose colors as you wish. Don't think too much about it because you're going to start getting frustrated thinking about, I don't know what to use, what colors, or what's going to happen. Maybe it's the wrong color. To stop this anxiety, just choose any colors, whatever close to the color combination of your drawing and start coloring. So I'm going to start with green. And the way we color in Neurographica, we never color in mosaic style, meaning the way I need to color, I need to kind of like pick several segments of the drawings intuitively and color them. When I say segments, I'm talking about this borders that created by the marker during the drawing. So you never color like this, right? You should really do it with control. Let me show you on the large piece here. So I've selected segments 1, right? You understand what I'm saying by segments, those that separated by the marker. Let me just color one segment and you will understand what I mean by that. So here I've colored two segments, segment 1, segment 2. Each segment is separated by the marker. Okay, so you should pick at least 3. 2 is minimal, but I wouldn't even recommend 2. I would recommend 3, 4, 5, 6 segments colored together. Like I'm going to be doing it now. And it has to be done intuitively. Don't repeat after me, because you really need to create your own drawing. Right here. Okay, so now sometimes I'm combining coloring of the circles or other figures together with the flow type of coloring. Here, like you see, like I created some object with one color, but now I'm going to color the whole circle just the way it is. It's up to you. How are you coloring? But what I would suggest to you, don't color in the rigid manner. Don't just go around and color each figure in a different color. It's not going to look as pretty as if you would combine coloring a geometrical figure just like that with the flow coloring that I show you here. The combination usually looks very nice when you combine both. Now I'm going to continue with coloring using various pencils. You can use highlighters for this, but you have to be very careful. You cannot go with highlighters as you go with the pencils. The pencils can go over marker. If you're using highlighter, it's going to wash out your marker, create a mess. So if you intend on using highlighter, try to color each segment separately. Then you're going to get the right kind of feeling. You need to like your work. If you don't like your work, you're not going to be able to continue forward. But in order to like your work, you really need to draw more than once. Otherwise, it's just, you know, you're not going to know what you're doing. And for the first experience, it's fine just to get a glimpse. And I know some of my students who study with me for a very long time, they came to me in the beginning and they were very confused and they didn't know what they're doing. They came from other teachers saying, I don't know, like I'm really confused. I don't know how to draw the lines in the right way, how to do this, how to do that. So then learn and repeat, and that would empower you for creating beautiful, not only beautiful artwork, but also work on your emotional state in a different way. One rule, if you use the color somewhere on the pattern, you really need to use it somewhere else on the pattern, just like that, like I'm doing it. I used yellow there, I'm using it here. See this? How pretty, already it looks pretty. And here I'm also gonna use, gonna color the entire figure to create this interesting effect of the flow and the static objects. You see this? It's pretty. It is pretty already. Takes time, right? And some people, even the artists who come and study with me, they saying, you know, Margarita, everything goes well until we start coloring. We don't know what colors to choose. We don't know what we need to do. For those who saying that, I'm just saying, guys, you need to relax and sometimes go blind and select colors without even looking at them and try to create art with them. It should not stop you from creating beauty, creating beautiful art pieces. And another thing that I have to mention, you really don't have to color the entire drawing. Color to the point where it makes sense to you and it looks beautiful. This process is completely intuitive, 100% intuitive coloring. Like a drawing is intuitive, same way as coloring is intuitive here. Okay, so I'm gonna take a green again color and color here. And again, I'm not gonna color everything. I'm just gonna complete my drawing in a way that it makes sense to me. It has to make sense to me. Look, when you color in circles, you could just go round, around, round, and then make it like 3D. You see this? It looks more like a 3D. That's another technique that I'm using. I'm showing you. That's what you can use as well. And here. Okay. So I can stop right here. Maybe I'll add some of the coloring here as well. So you guys, specifically beginners who are just joined today for the first time, can see how things can get colored and get a taste of the method. You can actually color on top of another color, which is totally fine. You can make a shading on one side, which is totally fine, like I've done over here, right? Done over here. But that's about it, okay? Then it creates a drawing. But in reality, I should have 5 to 6 times more lines on this drawing. It just takes time if I'm using large format, right? And you should be able to color the rest of that, leaving just partially empty spaces. And what I'm saying in Neurographic, it's always nice to rotate, because when you rotate, you're getting different perception of your drawing. Maybe not this one in particular, but sometimes we're getting different perception by rotating and getting different senses. Sometimes it looks better when you rotate either vertical or upside down. Again, not in this case. I don't see anything here that would hint towards rotating it in a certain way and coloring in a certain way. But in a lot of times it does. It does. Let me see if I can find anything on that. Let me just quickly take a look. If not, then you can see my YouTube channel. Oh, okay. Let me show you something. I was drawing and drawing, and then all of a sudden, and actually, that was done at the times when I had troubles at work. I've been drawing, and then all of a sudden, I've got 2 rabbits together eating carrot. That was so interesting. And it happened when I rotated it. Actually, this drawing was done this way, guys. That's why I'm saying that it's a good way of finding sense out of it. And then the only thing what's left here is the filled lines. I like providing filled lines on my drawings because they have a high charge, right? They have high charge. Usually it's done with contrast marker, and those lines that go through the whole drawing, just like that. They're neurographic lines, but they go from one corner to another corner. Just like that. And you just do a light rounding. Not everywhere, just in a few spots. Just like that. And that would complete your drawing. So now I'm going to be opening Q&A. I'm going to mute you guys. We have like about 5 minutes for Q&A. Whoever were able to stay till the end of the class. I know it's only 1 hour, so other people have other meetings to go to. But guys, quick questions I'm going to take. Who wants to ask what? Ina, hear you, but I don't see you.
Алло, алло, алло. Да,
Yes, I can hear you.
да, я извиняюсь, я просто
No,
не
no,
знаю.
we speak English here, Ina. It's in English.
Hold on. Yeah, can you say it again? I didn't hear you.
No, I just asked if you have any questions, and you got highlighted some.
Well, actually, the questions that I do have, sometimes I cannot determine which strength would, be which figure. How can I find out? Like, for example, community. What figure would you make community? I think it's gonna be
Okay.
circle.
Let me give you right away explanation, right? It has to be, let me just switch back to my drawing. The way you're picking up the shape is totally depending on your intuition. The first thing that comes to your mind should be that shape. If community is a circle for you, something that brings people together, maybe you're sitting in a circle when you have your community meeting, then you select circle. For me, the reason why I've selected a square is because for me, it's my foundation. I base my work, my practice, my life on communal work. I'm giving a lot to community for free, but I also have high ticket programs. But for me, building a community is my life purpose. That's why community for me is square. It's my foundation. But my spiritual work is a triangle. Why? Because it never ends. It's a movement. It's a verb. Always moving ahead. Always, you guys seeing everything in the mirror way. I don't know, Zoom is acting crazy today. But right, actually in reality, this angle looks towards the right side, something that we go from the left to the right. Left is the past and the right is the future. Okay, so we really need to intuitively ask ourselves, what is this for me? The first thing that comes to your mind, that's what you need to use. Because everything else will be overthinking, over processing, and the Neurographica, it's not really a good way of doing it. Everything should be intuitive. Okay?
Right. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
So what represents what? Like, for example, would you be able to tell me what would represent circle? What are,
Circle is a holistic figure. It can be used for anything. Actually, I can replace all these figures with circle. Why? Because triangle and square and spiral, they all fit into a circle. All of them. It is the universal figure. So in Neurographica, we really love using circles because they can represent anything.
How about square?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. Mostly, circles are used widely in Neurographica. And if you look at Neurographic pattern, you will find mostly circles.
Right.
So sometimes we're adding triangles for the movement, for action, like a travel.
Triangle is
the action.
Action.
Transformation. Something that brings some sort of movement, change.
Transformation, change.
And the square is something foundational, something that provides you security, foundation, financial foundation, education, knowledge that you acquired over your life. That's what it's all about. And then everything gets connected through the lines and it creates a beautiful pattern. There is a fourth figure that we're using, a spiral, but it's a separate class. It's a paid class that I offer for anybody who wants to learn Neurographic spiral. Okay, guys. So I would like to wrap it up. I need to finish in 2 minutes, so I have 2 minutes for other people to ask questions. Anybody else have any questions? All right, guys. So I'm gonna create a recording, and I'm gonna be sending it to you as well.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. I will upload it to my YouTube channel, Amarna Neuroart. So that's going to be my 5th lesson. I'm going to create a beautiful cover for all my lessons based on the oils that we're using. I just didn't have time to do that, but I'm going to be doing it. And those lessons going to really look pretty. And I hope people are watching them. I see that people are watching them by the number of views that they provide. But again, it's a part of the agenda of spreading Neurographica and essential oils to the knowledge about them throughout the English speaking world. All right, guys, you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you.
I would like to see work. You can always send it to me. Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Verita. Thank you very much for your time.